To start it off, you came out in the octagon in Conan's back, but not everyone noticed that you probably hurt your foot. Do you already know what happened? Was it because of the kicks that did you hurt it in the first round or throughout the fight? When did you feel your foot? I've already had this injury. It was from my last fight. I thought that it was fine, but I heard it again in the same place. So now I'm going to pay more attention to it. It's getting in my way a little bit. But I'm going to look for a specialist, and I'm going to be fine in my next fight. I kicked so much that I don't even remember if it was in the first round, but I don't think so. I think it was throughout the fight. Congratulations on your win and defending the belt. I wanted you to evaluate your performance. You had a very dominant performance tonight. How do you see yourself in relation to your next opponent? I did everything that I trained for. Rocky's a very tough athlete. I said that in every interview that I was ready to go 5 rounds with Rocky. I know that she's an athlete who she can take a lot of damage and continue in the fight. And it's exactly what we trained for in the gym. My training partners pressuring me all the time and putting me in uncomfortable situations to get here tonight and be well, even when things happen in the fight, so that I was prepared to be able to change that. And that's what happened tonight. I spent that minute there, but I was very comfortable because I've gone through that in training. I think that this fight helped me a lot to evolve. It was a fight that was very tough for me. Everyone knows Rocky's my friend and Tisha as well. And to prepare myself mentally for this fight was a bit complicated, but I'm the champion. And this is the reason for my living, the belt. When I really decided to be an MMA fighter, I wanted to be the best in the world. And when the UFC added the division, my focus was always on the belt. And today I was able to defend it once again. I'm very happy. At the end of the 4th round, Raquel told her corner, and we saw that in the broadcast, and she said to her coach that her nose was broken and that she didn't want to fight anymore in any way because she couldn't fight anymore. And her coach wouldn't throw in the towel. As a professional fighter and a personal friend of hers, how do you see that, this attitude of her coach? It's sad. Nina told me, I didn't even know, Nina told me in the locker room, it's sad because it could avoid something, you know. She went to the hospital. It might be a bad injury for her to go to the hospital. I already asked Nina to text her and find out if she needs anything. I'm here. And it's sad. If she didn't have the right conditioning to fight, then the coach should have thrown in the towel for sure. I think my coach wouldn't let me go through that. It's sad. But everyone must be saying a lot of bad things about him in social media, but I think she really needs to surround herself with people that want the best for her so she can evolve in her next fights. Unfortunately, tonight he failed. Amanda, how was it for you defending the belt? You're the first woman to defend the belt here in Brazil. It was surreal. It started yesterday. The weigh-ins were perfect. I left the weigh-ins very, very confident. I was already feeling very well, but at the weigh-ins, it was surreal. And being the first one defending the belt here in Brazil, after everything that's been happening in my life, the first Brazilian to sign, the first Brazilian to have fought in Brazil, to debut in Brazil, and now defending the belt. I'm collecting history. And that makes me very happy. It's gratifying that all my work is being worthwhile. I'm living my dream. That's a reality.
Amanda,
before the fight, there was a lot being said about how the UFC was maybe not promoting your fight in the best way, and how you wanted to show yourself to the Brazilian fans, how important it was to defend the belt here in Rio. After the fight and the win, a knockout, Dave Shaw just said that he's going to work your image more. They're going to work on your image. Was this what you wanted to give the Brazilians? Do you think you could have done something better? And how can you see your projection from here on? Yeah, I really wanted the UFC to promote this fight a little bit more in social media, because everyone has Instagram and Facebook, so that's where people are. So I felt that a little bit, that this card wasn't as promoted. Sometimes when the UFC would post and I would say, hey, there's 2 weeks to go for the fight. You guys are promoting the fight that comes after mine. So there's a lot of things to work on. It's already gotten a lot better. The UFC has been improving a lot. But I'm proving I'm the kind of athlete that I need to prove that I am the best. That I'm here to stay, that this is my division, and I'm going to keep on breaking records, and everything's going to get better. I really need to prove, and they're going to give me the space that I deserve. But I'll keep focusing on my fight and living my life very well, and I'm very happy. Tonight was surreal. I did everything that I trained to do. I listened to my coach at all times, even when she was able to take me down. I was trying to do something that I always do, and I do well in training, but it didn't work out in the fight. But I was doing well right there. I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. I have good wrestling, so I'm evolving every day. And sometimes in training, you get in uncomfortable places, and in the fight, you need to train. These moments happen in the fight, and it happened to me tonight, but I was very focused, and I turned it around and left with my belt. A lot was said before the fight that if you defended your belt, the fight that would make the most sense would be a fight with Chris Cyborg. What's it like for you today? What do you think that fight's going to happen? Is that what you really want? Do you have this super fight against Chris? You two are the 2 best female MMA fighters in the world. After this win, I want to go back and see my family, take some time. I haven't spent some time with my family in some time. My grandmother's sick. I want to stay close. I was far from my family for this long. And this is when I can take some time to be close. I'm very close to my family. I had to spend many years away from them, all because of a dream. And now that it's achieved, I can take that time. I'm going to spend some time with my family, then I'm going to go back to America and sit down with my coaches. Because I don't decide anything on my own. I can't tell you right now, because my coaches and I, we work together a lot. That's why it works out so well, this union. So I'm going to sit down and talk to my manager, Dan Lambert, and see what's better for my career from here on. But we'll see. I think it'd be an interesting fight for sure. And it had everything that should have happened before. But I'm the champion in my division. My division is moving right now, so we'll see what happens from here on. I'm very anxious about my future. The last question was about the fight with Chris Cyborg, but there's Kathleen Vieira, who's in your division. She's coming off 4 consecutive wins. She beat the last woman that beat you, which is Kat Zingano. Wouldn't it make more sense for you to keep defending your belt against Kathleen? Kathleen is definitely the next one. I'm going to be very well prepared. But like I said, I'm going to take some time. I'm going to spend some time with my family, and I think I deserve that. I haven't spent time with my family. But whatever the UFC tells me, I'm going to discuss with my coaches and see what's best. Be it at bantamweight or at featherweight, I'll be very comfortable. But like I said, I have to go back and sit down with my coaches and see what's really best for me in my career. And from there, I'll have a surprise for you guys soon. You said you'd make featherweight, but would you be able to move down in weight and have a super fight? That's another option, but I tried, and it was very painful for me to cut the weight. I don't have a lot of fat, so it's hard for me even at this weight. That's why I think of going to featherweight, because I'm tired of cutting weight. That's a reality. To go through all that, to go down in weight, it doesn't make any sense. My performance would maybe not be as good. So maybe it's something that maybe could happen. We'll see going forward. I'll have a statement soon.
Oi, Amanda, tudo bem? Voltando pouco o momento da questão do corner.
Going back to the question about the corner,
chegou ponto que a própria Raquel falou,
there was a point where Raquel said she was done.
Você dentro da luta,
you in the fight, did you get to a point where you thought that she was at her limit, that she can go forward? Yes. When I started to work the knees and the clinch, there was a time when it really landed on her nose, and I saw it, and I felt that it broke. When she looked at me, her nose was already bleeding a lot. So that's when I started to exploit. It's sad to say that it's a fight. I needed to defend my belt. I needed to use her weakness at that moment to be able to come out with the win. So when I saw the nose, I knew that it was broken. It was bleeding a lot. So that's when it became my focus. And also the kicks to the legs. It was something that I used a lot, but I saw that she was very injured. And I was with my corners when the fight was over, and I would look at her, and I knew that she was done. But a fight's a fight. Some athletes come back in the last round, so you have to maintain your focus, and that's what I did. But when I threw my last elbow, that's when I really felt it. It's over, and she gave me her back, and I was able to finish the fight. But it's very sad. He should have listened to her at that moment. It's important to have that friendship with your coach, and for the coach to understand the athlete. I think that's why I bond so well with my coaches, and it's working out. But I hope that right now, she, going forward, she can be with people that really understand, people that are with her 100%. You talked about your emotional work that was harder for this fight. It was somebody that you liked. And that at the moment of the fight, you can't think about that. You have to be able to turn that off and think that she's an opponent and she was hurt. So what's that like? What's that like to be able to manage that and work the mental side, and in the moment of the fight for you to make sure it doesn't weigh on you? I don't even know how to explain it. It's a mental work that I do that really helped me. But you know, when there's things that you can't explain to people, only living it is when you would understand it. That was the moment. I had to have a tight bond with myself to be able to go through all this. It was a tough fight. It really was. The friendship that we have, it weighed a little bit on me. I was sad. I was sad to see her at the end of the fight and see her face in that way. But it is what it is. I had to do what I needed to do and to leave with a belt, which was most important. I hope that she recovers well. I wanted to have a beer with her, but unfortunately, it'll be next time. Thank you, everyone. Good evening to everyone. I'm going to take care of my foot now, and I'll be back quick.